Welcome back. A new round of African Union-mediated talks between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan aimed at resolving a year-long dispute over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam appear to have broken down yesterday. The dispute centers on the speed at which a planned reservoir is filled behind the dam, the method of its annual replenishment, and how much water Ethiopia will release downstream if a multi-year drought occurs. Another point of difference is how the three countries would settle any future disputes. The three sides are all seeking to find some common ground, but Egypt's foreign ministry said in a statement that Ethiopia had a lack of political will to negotiate in good faith. And if this dispute is not settled, what will be the implications on economic and investor sentiment for these countries, particularly Ethiopia? Matt Kindiger, an associate lead practice for Sub-Saharan Africa at Frontier Views, joins us now to provide answers to these and more. Hello, Matt. Great to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me on the program today.
Thank you. So what are the regional implications of the failure of these talks between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan?
So broadly, it's very disappointing that the talks have failed, and it does not bode well for the outlook for regional tensions. At the very least, it means Ethiopia is likely to become a bit more isolated on the international stage, and it also raises questions about what the next move by Egypt and Sudan will be. So certainly a lot of anxiety. However, I don't think this is the end of the story. There are likely to be more talks over the coming months as all sides take stock. And very crucially, in Ethiopia, the country is holding an election on the 5th of June. So in about 2 months' time, we probably won't see much movement on the Ethiopian side until the election. And the government is also being distracted by the crisis in the Tigray region in the north of the country. So a couple of things have to happen before we see some movement on all sides.
All right, looking at the time of completion now, is it likely to be delayed given the regional tensions it's generating at this point?
So the tensions themselves are unlikely to be the primary cause of a delay to the completion of the dam, and this is because Ethiopia is unlikely to unilaterally back down or concede its position, and this is because the dam really is a cornerstone of economic development for the country. It will provide a significant amount of electricity, which is crucial for the country's economic development. And the Ethiopian government has said that it wants to proceed with the next stage of filling of the dam in July. So really, the regional tensions are not the primary reason for a likely delay. There are other things that could cause a further delay to the completion. One is, say, external pressure from the US or China, which may mean that the Ethiopian government finds itself forced to come back to the negotiating table. Or the other is that an increase in violence and unrest in the Tigray region over the course of the year could distract the government even further and drain resources away from the dam. So those are two other reasons that could cause delays to the dam's completion.
All right, how will a delay to the completion of the dam affect Ethiopia's economic outlook and the country's business landscape?
So there'll probably be quite limited short-term implications for the economic outlook and for businesses in Ethiopia. In terms of short-term dynamics, the government's weak fiscal position and the Tigray conflict present bigger risks for the economic landscape, and businesses are a bit more concerned about high inflation and currency volatility. But certainly, in the longer term, say over the next 2 to 5 years, delays to the dam's completion could certainly derail the government's economic development plans. The government is aiming to grow the economy by, very rapidly over the next few years. Electricity generation is a part of that development plan, and without the completion of the dam, there certainly is a risk to the country's longer-term economic prospects. So certainly something that could affect the long-term economic outlook.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. We'll keep tracking that story to see if they resolve it. Well, thank you for the update, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks very much.